unfortunately, for the Dharma Talk in this month. And what I just say, see, this is a very important thing. What many times I just mentioned about what the Joshi, Master Joshi, he's the great Zen master in China. What Joshi want to teach us as far as the essential, what's the essential self mean. See, when Shakyamuni Buddha realized who he was, he said, see, everybody, everything has a Buddha nature. Buddha nature is the essential self. See, he says so. Then, some monks just ask the Joshi, see, whether dog has a Buddha nature or not. See, dog has a Buddha nature. No. Then Joshi just answer, yes. People just understand, oh, that's it. See, no problem at all. But the thing is, the other occasion, see, the other monk just asked Joshi whether the dog has a Buddha nature or not. His answer is no. Then people had a great question. Why the Master Joshi answered differently with the same question. See, once he says yes, and the other occasion he said no. See, the same question. Then people had as I just mentioned, people had a great question, creates the problem. But the people knows much about the words and the letters, but the people don't know much about the reality. See, Master Joshi just answered correctly, perfectly, about what he just answered, the question. Oh, no. They asked what he was asked. See? When he just asked, he was just asked whether the Buddha dog has a Buddha nature or not. He said, yes. Yeah. And the other occasion, just he was asked whether the dog has a Buddha on it. Buddha has a Buddha nature or not? No. See? Perfectly, correctly, he just answered. See? Because people never know much about, see, what his answer is correctly or not. This one is not a human body. This one is another human body. This one is a Dharma body. See, when Joshi answered, yes, this one, everybody become one, become yes, see, without doing anything. Then when the Joshi just answered, no, this one become no itself without doing anything. Everybody become one with doing anything, without doing anything. See, this is the Buddha nature. This is the essential truth, essential self, not this one. See, not this one is what we think of the self. That is not the essential of the self. See, when I clap my hand, everybody become this son without doing anything. Without doing anything is without without the self, without the self, without the self. See, see, when I clap my hand, you simply become this son without doing anything, without doing anything. See, why do we have to be? See, why do we have to be? When I clap my hand, you simply become this son as it is, without doing anything. See, but people never have any question. See, this is the most, see, uh, valuable or most important thing for us to realize. See, without doing, we simply become this. Why? Why do we have to be? People never be able to answer it. But the master Joshi, see, correctly answered. See, what the Buddha nature is. See, when he just answered yes, we simply become yes as it is. When he just answers no, see, we simply become no as it is without doing anything. That is the Buddha nature. That is the essential self. But people never be able to understand it, even in concept. In concept, that's the reason we have to do as Zazen. When I face this, when I face this, I simply become uh, what I just faced. See? Without doing anything. This is a tremendous, wondrous aspect. But people never have any question. See, why do we have to be? See, without doing anything. This is the Buddha nature. See, that's the reason we have to do a zazen in order to understand or in order to realize who we are. See, when I feel this, I simply become as it is without doing anything. See, very wondrous, tremendous, wondrous things that unfortunately people never be able to know much about this reality. That's the reason we are exactly ourselves. See, no doubt at all. We are exactly ourselves. But unfortunately, people don't know much about who they are, who they are, what what people think of the self or I is entirely different from the essential self. See? That's a delusion, misunderstanding. You see, that's kind of the self or I. It never exists anywhere, just exists in their mind, in our mind. That's a creation of thinking. That's a creation of thinking, delusion. But people don't know much about it. See? Yeah, tremendous, tremendous the misunderstanding people people have. See, that's the reason we have to do it. And then Shakyamuni Buddha or patriarchs just recommend us to do that in order to encounter the essential self. Only doesn't, only doesn't you'll be able to encounter the essential self. then you'll be very satisfied. You'll be you'll be very much satisfied with everything. Everything. No trouble, no question, no problem at all. That's the Zazen. That is the Zazen. That is the Shakyamuni Buddha's realization. Yeah. See? So we have to do it. Zazen. Okay. We go back to today's text, number 12, not thinking. This is a very very sensational aspect. In a sense, question. People never understand it. See, what people never what people never understand is, see, Master Dogen said, what does it mean? What does it mean? He just what he teaches in, see, to think of not thinking, think of not thinking. We'll be able to do it. We'll be able to do it. See, think of not thinking. That is Zazen. People are entirely confused. What the Master Dogi just teaches. See, as a Zazen. See? Think of not thinking. Is it possible for you to do it? Think of not thinking. See? That's the reason. See? We want to just recommend it to Zazen. Although it's easy to say, but totally difficult. Think of not thinking. This is Zazen. This Zazen. As long as you do this Zazen, think of not thinking. This Zazen, you never be able to encounter the essential self. This is the most important thing to realize who we are. Think of not thinking. See, very, very great. Okay, so that what not thinking, learning by the truth. See? If you just realize what's the meaning of it, to think of not thinking, you have to just learn it by the truth. How you can do it? When you face this, you simply become as it is. See? Always, you never separate from this state or condition or the challenge. You may say challenges. Always, you simply familiar with the things you just faced. The things to eyes, the sound to ears, the smell to mouth, and the taste to the smell to a nose, and the taste to the mouth, and the kind of a perception of the hot and the cold to our body, and the thinking. See? You are simply just always, you are simply become familiar with those six senses. Then Well, then what you think about the self, see, totally disappeared. And only this way, only this way, see, uh, what you think about, think of the self or it's completely cease, completely disappear. And this is the Shakyamuni Buddha's realization. Then this is the Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching, how to do, how to practice Zazen. See, this is this is this is very important. Although it's totally difficult to do, but if you just have a strong aspiration to realize who you have to do it. Okay, so what the Jinen Roshi just want to teach you with the text number 12, not thinking. Okay. You cannot hear, you can hear voices of the television. This is your current state. Although you haven't done anything, you can still hear them. See? This is the most important thing to realize who we are. When I clap my hand, see, you can just become this sound without doing anything. See, then you realize what happened. Then you just try to figure out the reason why that kind of sound come out is because the Jinen just clap his hand. This is a thinking. This is a thinking. See? Before thinking. See? And see? You simply become distant. You don't know much about it. So even you don't know much about it, you become a distant or not. Then end. Totally end. Nothing left at all. See? This is this is activity. This is activity of to thinking of not thinking, thinking of not thinking. Only this, more in a sense, only this the activity or movement exists. Nothing more or less. Then everything should be completely done without any question, trouble, problem at all. That is our daily life activity. That is our daily life, daily life activities. And this is totally, you don't need to do, you don't need to do what it is. You don't need to know much about what it is. Without knowing anything, we can simply act. We can simply act. That's a Dharma activity, not a human activity. But people never understand this reality. All the people are always acting this way. But people don't know much about it. See, it's incredible. Such a miserable way we are doing. We are doing what the Shakyamuni Buddha teaches what the reality is. But we never understand it. Although we are just always acting, doing this way. See, that much we don't know much about who we see. Okay. You can hear voices, voice on the television. Or the same thing. When I talk to you, you just simply listen to what I'm talking about without doing anything. Then you understand. You you understand. You understand what I'm talking about without understanding. Would be understandable. You can just you can simply just understand what I am talking about without understanding. This is this is so great, but people never understand it. You see, this is your current state. See, we are doing, we are acting only this way. See, we, we, we never just we never just act what we think about thinking. We simply act in this way. We never be able to act with or by thinking. That's the reason. You never understand it. You never understand it. Even in the concept, you never be able to understand it. That's causes confusion. That's causes confusion. See, people don't know much about what the reality is, who we are. That's causes question, trouble, problem. That's all, the only other you'll be able to just figure out what's the problem, question, or trouble is. Okay. Although you haven't done anything, without anything, without doing anything is without self, without doing anything is without self. Without self, we are simply just acting. Who is acting? Without self, everybody, everybody except without everybody with just exception can just act without self. Who is acting? Okay, that's the. This is although you haven't done although you haven't done anything, you can still hear them. This is not thing. It's so great, but people never understand. See, without doing anything, without trying to do anything, we can simply act. See, this is the essential self. This is the essential self. So when I say this is the essential, the way of the essential self, so people will just try to do it, see, in order to be the essential self, or try to be try to become the essential self. But that is a total misunderstanding. Now we are doing it. That is the way of the essential self. Right now, without self, everybody, just everybody is acting, acting. never just misunderstood it. After practicing that, and after just realize who we, we can just this activity, this action, that is totally misunderstood. Right now, what we are acting is the Dharma activity, not a human activity. So without self, right now we are just acting. See? And very important thing. The most important thing for us to realize this thing, reality. This is not thinking. It is it is unrelated to your thought. See, this activity is nothing concerned with that. Nothing concerned with the thought or thinking. See, and this activity is nothing concerned with what we think of the self. See, self. Totally different. Totally different. That's why people never be able to understand it. See? But but the thing is that it's it's a totally difficult to realize who we are. See? People never try to do it, but you try to do it. Then you just realize who you are completely satisfied. You completely satisfied with who you are. Like, you don't have any trouble, any question, any problem. That's the reason we have to do it. It is unrelated to your thought. The voices aren't there through thinking. The voices aren't there. They are through thinking, without thinking, without thinking. When I clap my hand, you'll be able to become this. This is oneness. This is oneness. Oneness is the reality of whole universe. See, only this reality exists in all the universe, but people don't know much about. People don't know much about this reality. But if you can do it, see, this is how. See, thinking and not thinking, thinking not thinking of not thinking. If you can do this, you'll be able to just realize this reality. This reality, the essential self is nothing concerned with what we think of the self. Then you'll be able to be completely free from everything. Okay. Excuse me. So it is it is unrelated to your thought. The voices aren't there through thinking. The truth bypasses our thinking. We learn by the truth. See? Reality is nothing concerned with. Reality is nothing concerned with thinking. See? Although people are much, although people attach to thinking and so. See? That's the reason people never be able to know much about, see, who we are. The essential is nothing concerned with thinking, because the essential self, nothing concerned with the self. That's the reason. That's the reason if you just want to realize who you simply just whatever just thinking thoughts come out in our mind, simply let it go, let it go as it is. This is as it. If you can if you can do this is as it, the more you do, the more you become the things you just faced. Then eventually there is no separation between that and this, because you simply become as it is. You one, honestly. Then there is nothing exists. Right now, right now. See, this reality just come out full. See, when I faced when I faced this, see, there is no separation between this and that. Then almost same time, you recognize what it is. Then at the same time, you just recognize as a self or I. Then certain separation just come out between this and that. That is another that is another truth. That is the creation of thinking, the illusion. Reality, truth is when I feel this, I simply become as it is, without any separation between this and that. That is the reality. But the people never understand it. See, all the people are just acting this way all the time. That's the reason we have to do that. Okay, so yeah, we learn by the truth. We learn by the truth. When I face this, I simply become as it is. When I face this, I simply become as it is. Without doing anything. We have to learn this reality. You don't need to say anything. you don't. You don't need to. You don't need to find out. You don't need to try to find out the reason why. See, we have to. Why we have to be. We don't need to do it. We don't need to. But simply just when I face this, see, I simply become as it is. See, this reality we have to learn. See, this reality when I face this, I simply become as it is without doing. How you can do it? How you can do it is the more the whatever as I just mentioned before. See, whatever thinking or thought come out in our mind, simply let it go out, let it go as it is. Then the more you do this, then those things just come out, come out on those six senses. See, just verify who we are. This reality just verify who we are. See, I simply just become as it is. That's reality. Just verify who we are. This is a way we will be able to see, we'll be able to realize who we are. Only this way. See? But people never understand it. See? That's the, it's a totally easy to say, but it's a totally difficult. That's reason. See? Well, whenever you have any question, just ask her. Otherwise, you never be able to just understand this reality, even in concept. Okay. We learn by the truth. For now, you are living daily. You are living daily with a perception of yourself and of things outside yourself. This is aware of what a human being, what we are doing. Always there is certain separation. Always there is certain separation between this and that. This is the human viewpoint. See, this is not a this is not a reality. See, but people don't know much about any other thing, any more things but this reality. That's causes us trouble. See, people don't know much about what's happened. People don't know much about what's happened before recognition. Only people know much about after recognition. After recognition. When I face it, see, when simply just become as it is, see, that is that happened. That's happened before recognition. That's happened before. You never know much about what it is. You know much about, you'll never be able to know much about what it is because of oneness. Because of oneness. Then you just recognize what it is. Then you know much about what it is. At the same time, you just recognize this one as a self or I. See, this state is another reality. See? This is a delusion. But people don't know much about the reality. So people are completely deceived by thinking. See? People are completely deceived by thinking. People don't know much about it. Unfortunately. For now, you are living daily with the perception of yourself and of things outside yourself. If you learn a little more, you will understand that there is a life without perception of those things. See? Those things outside yourself. This is so great, but people never understand it. See, all the people are always acting this way. See? See, if you really just, if you really, if you just really satisfy with what you are doing, see? You have to realize this reality. See? This is the most important thing. If you learn a little more, you will understand that there is a life without perception of those things outside yourself. What you think about the others is another others. Uh, that is minus name. That is part of yourself. Part of yourself. See, but people just what people think about. Uh, that is others. See, totally different. That's the what's the others is the things just come on those six senses. See, our this the ourselves in a sense, see, not others, part of ourselves. See, but people never understand. See, that's the reason we have to do that. See, if you a little more, if you learn a little more, if you simply just see, if you simply become familiar with what you what you just faced right now. All the people try to understand it, what it is by thinking. This way you never be able to encounter the essential self. If you just realize who we simply become, we simply become familiar with what we are just faced to right now. See? When I just face I simply become as it is. When I face this, I simply become as it is. This way. This way is just practice. Practice in daily life. Then eventually, what what we think of, what we think of the mind and the body, see, completely disappear. See, that is that. Okay. A little more, you will understand that there is a life is just perception of those things outside yourself. Okay. As you become aware of the truth right now, that that's outside the world completely disappear. See? See? When you just when I just face this, I simply become as it is. Then the more you do, the more there is there is there is no separation between this and this. And as I told you, as I mentioned before, then there is no separation between this and this. You never know much about anything. You don't know much about anything. See? You don't know much about anything. God knows. See? All this reality just come out. When I face this, I don't know much about what it is. I don't know much about what this is either. See? As long as we don't know much about it, we don't know much about it. So there is nothing exists. There is nothing exists. Nothing existing. See? Then you just recognize the things. Then kind of a thing just come on. This, and this. You just recognize the thing. That's come out later. That is not a reality. That's not the reality. That's the creation of thinking. See? The reality is there is nothing. There is no separation between and this and this. That's the reason we don't know much about what goes on. In a sense, See, in another word, see, there is nothing existing. More to lose will be understandable. Okay. That's the reason we have to do it. Okay. Before, okay. The five senses and the external environment inevitably have an unlimited function. The Dharma. That's transcend our thinking. Without thinking, without thought, without thinking. See, I simply become as it is. This reality comes first. See, the reality is transcendent, transcendent the thinking. See, reality always others transcend our thinking. In another word, the reality is nothing concerned with thinking or thought. Just come on. Just come on. See? This sound just come on. Without doing anything. See? Without thinking. See? Come out in our mind, minor sense. See? So our activity is nothing concerned with thinking. Our activity is nothing concerned with thinking. Our activity is Dharma activity. See? And this is a very important thing, but the people never understand it. Unfortunately. Okay. If you learn from now itself, your own function, now self itself, your own function, and everything else completely disappears. This experience, once we have to do, although this is a unnecessary thing, but if you unless you have this experience, you never be able to understand. You never be able to realize what the essential self is. As I just mentioned, it's unnecessary to realize, but once we have to have this experience, if you understand completely, you understand what the essential self by thinking, by reason, by concept, you never be able to satisfy with it. That's the reason we have to have this experience. If you learn from now itself, your own function and everything else completely disappears, then you are completely one with things, one, without even knowing that you are one with it. You don't know much about become one with everything. So you completely, you just forget about everything. Then you'll be able to satisfy. That is the Shakyamuni Buddha's realization. Very great. No one understands it. In that case, unfortunately, through indirect condition, the real truth comes to end. Once you have this experience, then and the real truth or reality come to your hand. You never have any trouble. You never have any question, trouble at all. You are completely be able to be free from everything. Okay, that is that. This is the we would like to recommend you to do. Okay. So seeing the seeing the form of things and clinging to it is the root cause of the mind of confusion. See? In another way, as long as you care much about it, as long as you attach the thinking, so you never be able to just realize who you are. Simply just let it go. Let it go. I think this doesn't. You'll be able to just completely separate from thinking. So, and you'll be able to realize who you are. Okay? If you see the form of things and do not do not cling to it, the mind of normal human judgment does not arise. See, as long as you care much about that kind of judgment that come out in your mind, and you always try to just judge whether good or whether it's a good or not. Or, see, this is a delusion. This is a delusion. You have to separate from this. The mind of a normal human judgment does not arise. Satori, the realization, the liberation is to see the real truth and to leave the mind of the normal human judgment. See, you never try to judge whether it's a good or bad, the correct or the wrong. You never try to do it, so that you never have any trouble. That is so-called Satori. That is the liberation or the realization. Modern people, this is very important. Everything is very important. Modern people knows many, many things we don't know much about. People are just proud of how much we just know much about as the knowledge of reason or so and so. But modern people know many, many things. However, they just don't know themselves. So miserable. Totally useless. Even you know much about many, many things. Unless you know much about who you are. Totally useless. But people don't know much about Zazen. Zen is an important part of the Japanese spiritual culture of knowing oneself. Even the Yeno's just teach us something like it. But see, Zen is an important part of not only Japanese, but the whole world. See? Zen is an important part of the Japanese, not only Japanese, but also whole world culture of knowing oneself. See? Very great. So, whenever you are please see, please see, maybe 1 square meter space, one 1 meter space is totally, if not half of it, is enough. And simply set on some kind of round question. If you don't have a round question, it doesn't matter. Simply set. And then see, whatever thinking or thought comes in your mind, simply let it go, let it go as it is. This does. See, we want you to recommend it. We will recommend you to do it. Then someday or soon you'll be able to see encounter the essential self. And you'll be able to be satisfied with everything. Hi, thank you so much. Nelson, we'll see you soon. Maybe. Tiger-san, definitely. Okay, we'll be waiting for you. Okay, let us know when you'll be here. Hi, thank you so much.